Good morning on Tuesday, the 17th of December 2024. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia and live on West Coast Radio. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. Thanks for joining us. And Coffee Time is brought to you in association with partners led by TAF Africa Global, Bloombank Africa, Easy Financial Services, Global Properties, the Gambia Experience, WAVE, the U.S. Poultry and Egg Export Council, and GAM Food Trading.
Did you know service plots are now available at Baki? Welcome to Baki, Taft City's fourth residential estate.
Yes, service plots available at Baki with 3 years interest-free payment plan with a minimum deposit of only $94,000, and it will come with fence plot, water reticulation, electricity, solar street lights, and bituminized internal roads. Are you ready to build your dream home for yourself?
Call us now.
Let's start this newspaper review with the point. Government committed to providing justice for Jammeh victims. UDP fails in 4 suits against ambassadors. ECOWAS Development Bank wins Africa Sustainability Award. GPU pays tribute to Deda Haidara 20 years on. Gambia's economy to grow by 5.9%, says Finance Minister. Barrow highlights importance of building African ties, and Trust Bank donates medical items worth $200,000 to Bansang Hospital. Next, Foroya, journalist Pa Modou Bojang wins $15 million lawsuit for unlawful detention. Parliament approves $38.7 billion appropriation bill. Government proposes threshold for non-payment of income tax of $3,000 monthly. VP launches 2024 National Youth Conference. National Assembly suspends debate on budget speech. Gambian women embark on back way due to changing power relations in the family. And Ami Bensouda and Company law firm queries Foraya's story. Next, we pick up the Voices front page. Hope and desperation. Gambians queue for passports amid growing migration trends. Real estate businessman Aliou Danso clears Senabu Martin of bribery allegation. Finance minister says public debt expected to remain sustainable. National Assembly member says slowing down budget deficit to $5.1 billion is good. Regional leaders approve Gambia's special tribunal to prosecute perpetrators of gross human rights violations. Journalist Pa Modou Bojang awarded $15 million in damages and $200,000 in legal costs. Gambian leader calls for more approaches to sub-regional challenges. And finally, the Standard. ECOWAS to send mission to assess ECOMIG in Gambia. National Assembly members vote against debate on 2025 appropriation bill. Assembly delays tabling of constitution to allow room for dialogue. Long interdicted police officer seeks justice. GDC and NPP local chieftains decamp to UDP. Ex-KMC CEO explains irregularities in the procurement of Mbalit trucks. And UDP surrogate says government's ill-advised spending is discouraging donors. And that was your first look at Tuesday's newspaper front pages. We thank the editors and reporters of The Point, Foraya, The Voice, and The Standard.
Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all types of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value for money service and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
It's Tuesday, the 17th of December, and live on West Coast Radio, I am Peter Gomez. It's coffee time. Thank you for joining us. Pa Modou Bojang is laughing all the way to the bank this morning. The founder of Home Digital FM and Member Caring TV has been awarded $15 million in damages in a case he brought against the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General, and the Minister of Interior. By way of context, Pa Modou was violently assaulted on the morning of the 18th of June 2018 while he was covering a protest by residents against the mining of sand in the university village of Faraba Banta, which the frustrated residents said was polluting rice paddies. 2 people were killed as police tried to break up the demonstration. After arresting him, Pa Modou said the police tried to get him to delete the contents of his mobile phone, which he was using to record interviews and sounds during the demonstration. The police finally released Bojang in the evening, but did not return his audio recorder. He was then seen with his shirt spattered with blood in a video posted on social media. Coffee Time contributor Demba Ali Jawo, or D.A. Jawo, was the information minister at the time. And when contacted by Reporters Without Borders, he totally condemned the actions of the police officers from the notorious PI unit, Police Intervention Unit. These were DA's actual words as reported by RSF. Quote, "There is absolutely no justification and it is unacceptable for a journalist doing his work to be beaten or harassed." Well, Mr. Bojang filed a lawsuit shortly after seeking compensation for assault, battery, physical injuries, mental trauma, unlawful detention, pain, suffering, and public humiliation. Well, on Monday, that's less than 24 hours ago, the High Court agreed with him in totality and awarded him the $15 million I already mentioned and $200,000 in legal costs. Listen, I've just finished writing my begging letter, Pa Modou.
Thank you. Good morning, Peter.
You know, we're heading to Christmas, and you know, a lot of spending awaits me at home. Hey, listen, all jokes aside, congratulations. I mean, it's taken a long time. Would you say it's well worth the wait?
Thank you very much, Peter, and special greetings to your audience. Yes, I can say that it was a long wait because the case has suffered a lot of setbacks, but then, alhamdulillah, at the end of the day.
What setbacks? Tell us about the setbacks.
Well, you know the court cases every time is. Remember, this case started in 2018, up to 2024. So you can see that every time it's adjournment upon adjournment. But then, my lawyer has been very professional and very helpful. At the end of the day, we are here today.
Okay. And, okay, let's take, all the, claims you make about, assault, battery, physical injuries, mental trauma, unlawful detention, pain, suffering, public humiliation. How were you humiliated publicly?
Yes, I was humiliated publicly because, Peter, I'm a journalist and CEO and a radio owner. And so kind of thing happened to me, matter to me, kick me everywhere.
Pa Modou, we're losing you. Can I ask you to move around? I know the network in Brikama is not always the best.
Yeah, Peter, I'm not in Brikama, I'm in Mandawar now.
You are in Mandawar. It's even worse in Mandawar, apparently. Okay.
Yes, what I'm saying, my reputation has been damaged. Simply, when this happened, the police beat me, you can see blood all over me. My head was hurt. And then you come to this.
I'm going to ask you to move around. If you are inside a building, maybe just venture out. Just walk out of the building. Keep talking. You know how it is. Radio doesn't like silence. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was a victim, so when this happened on the social media, a lot of discourse. Some people are saying that Pa Modou was guilty. Some people are saying police. So the only last resort is to go to the court. So this is why I went to court and place this lawsuit against the Inspector General of Police and then against the Attorney General and the Minister of Interior for this humiliation in my life, So
Okay.
that's what happened.
Pa, just keep moving until I tell you to stop, because we are still looking for, the correct network. And in terms of mental trauma, how did your treatment cause you mental trauma? Keep moving.
Because,
yes, go ahead.
It caused me mental trauma because when the police...
Keep moving, Pa. Keep moving. You'll have to keep moving until until I tell you to stop. Because yes, go ahead.
Peter, I'm using official anyway. But can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Oh dear, oh dear. Doesn't seem it's not our lucky day today, Pa.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, you're coming through now. It's better now.
Let me stand here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I'm saying for my data. I'm a patient, and I told you before.
Pa, I would really love us to continue this conversation, but Mandawar, if the network, in Mandawar is like this, throughout the day. I mean, okay, just move. Okay, just move 5 steps to your right. Just count 5 steps to your right. Okay, now we've lost him.
Hello. If I own a business account with Trust Bank, how can I pay salaries to my employees to other banks?
Kindly send us an instruction through your corporate officer, that's your relationship manager. Send the instruction through a hard copy and we will kindly process for you. It is easy, it is simple. We will need few information from you. Each customer's name, the BBAN, and the bank it needs to be sent to. The BBAN should be complete and it should be in 18 digits. Please kindly forward this and then it will be processed the same day and all the funds will be credited in other banks as well. Thank you.
Now it's time for this month's delayed the Shola Mahoney podcast. And in his last podcast of the year, looking ahead to the festive season and the year ahead, Shola Mahoney returns to the theme of healthy aging, sharing a few thoughts about the challenges of healthy aging in the Gambia, and reminds us that it is never too late to start on our journey of healthy aging.
It's hard to believe that in a week's time it'll be Christmas Eve. And then a week later, we'll be getting ready to join in the various New Year's Eve celebrations that welcome in the new year 2025. And I'm not quite sure how it happens, but sometimes Christmas seems to sneak up on us. 1 month we're busy complaining about the terrible heat, and then all of a sudden we're all caught up in the Christmas spirit and the end-of-year festivities. Some friends are busy planning parties and luncheons. Others are taking note of which celebrations to attend. And then there is the unique excitement that the holiday makers from abroad bring. And I don't mean the tourists from Northern Europe. No, I'm talking about the Gambia's diasporans. Hamgarek semester yi, borom dollar yi, borom euro yi. Those once-a-year returnees who come home every year around this December time, because this has become the best time to visit home, because of the weather, the weddings, the family reunions, the class reunions, the parties. In short, it seems that over the years, everything has, conspired to make this time of year Gambia's festive season, the season for celebrations in the Gambia. And speaking of our once-a-year returnees, I'm often struck by the fact that you can sometimes pick out these semesters in a crowd. And I'm really not quite sure how, whether it's the way they are dressed or how they look, or is it some kind of holiday ebullience that they seem to exude. But in short, I've noticed that they seem to show up looking younger and healthier, and generally more full of life than their age mates, those of us who have been based here at home throughout the year. How is it that our friends and relatives who live abroad, at least those who have not moved abroad for medical treatment, how is it that they generally seem to be doing a better job of healthy aging than those of us who are permanently based here in the Gambia, our homeland? Or is it all just a false impression that I have? Because as we know, let's face it, human nature often tricks us into believing that the grass is greener on the other side. Well, whether false or real, factual or imagined, these impressions have forced me to reflect a little more deeply on the question of healthy aging in the Gambia and the challenges it presents. After all, I am a believer in the advantages of growing old back home, mostly because I'm keenly aware of the problem of isolation and loneliness that older persons face in many of the Western countries, and how that can lead to depression and dementia and a rapid decline in both mental and physical well-being. Meanwhile, here in the Gambia, our lives tend to be quite social. Hardly a week is going to go by without you having to attend some social event, a naming ceremony, or a taka, or a party, or a funeral, a charity, or a gamo. And outside of these events, there are, of course, the impromptu social visits, all of which help to keep isolation and loneliness at bay. Now, that's all well and good, but perhaps where we do not do quite so well is with things like exercise and healthy eating, our diet, our daily regime, partly because the social lives that we lead here make it difficult for us to do the things that we would like to do. After all, how are you going to cut down on rice when that's what the rest of the family is eating? And when that's what is served at the various hells, especially when it's so awkward and even expensive to find an alternative? And how do you stop drinking sugary drinks when that is what's served at these social events? And if part of your daily social routine involves drinking attaya with friends who you've been drinking attaya with for years, how do you suddenly stop that nice little tradition? And how are you supposed to fit in daily exercise when you're working a full-time job at work and working as a full-time homemaker at home, or when there are so many social obligations to fulfill? And anyway, where are the footpaths and the sidewalks and the pedestrian walkways that allow you to go for your daily walks without having to avoid cars and dodge cyclists? All these things seem so much easier to manage when you're away from home, when you can be the master of your daily schedule, when you can decide how you want to spend each hour of your day. But no matter how much more difficult it is here in the Gambia, as we come to the end of 2024 and look towards 2025, maybe we can be inspired by how good our once-a-year returnees are looking to find the time and the discipline to incorporate at least one element of healthy aging into our daily routines in 2025. In the year 1994, the late teenage R&B superstar Aaliyah released her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And that title song became part of the soundtrack of our times as it challenged age-related stereotypes. And yet, having rocked to the beat of that hit tune back in the 90s, as we age, we realize that Aaliyah's inspiring words, age ain't nothing but a number, don't quite tell the whole story. Because much as we appreciate the sentiment and the mindset behind those words, decades later we can all attest to the fact that, well, age is actually more than just a number. Age, or aging, is in fact a reality of life. And sometimes it's a reality that comes with more than its fair share of complications and inconveniences and pains. Indeed, in the words of my good friend, Father Patrick Ryan, aging ain't for sissies. And no doubt about it, it does come with its challenges, challenges which sometimes grow and or become more acute from year to year. But it's not all doom and gloom. Rather than lamenting the fact that the health challenges that we are facing today are the consequence of some of the excesses and indiscretions of our youthful days, let's be encouraged to realize that it's not too late to start our journey of healthy aging, one healthy habit at a time. In all this, and as we look forward to 2025, let's also remember that every little thing that we do today to improve our health can only improve our chances of healthy aging tomorrow. And as they say, there is no time like the present to start a good habit, especially when these are habits that will determine your future well-being. And on that note, here's wishing you all a happy festive season ahead and a year of healthy aging in 2025.
Thank you, the inimitable Shola Mahoney. It's coffee time with Peter Gomez live on West Coast Radio. Now, the National Assembly, we are told, has delayed the tabling of the proposed new constitution to allow room for dialogue. But if Alhaji Barrow had his way, it would be trashed altogether. Why? Because it discriminates against sections of our population, including, wait for it, thieves, a lot of whom Alhaji reckons you'll find in government. Standing up for thieves? Maybe there's something I'm missing and therefore need a second listen to Alhaji's essay this morning. So join me in hearing out Alhaji.
In 2020, when President Adama Barrow and his cabinet decided to torpedo the people's desire for a better constitution, they said, and I quote, "While the government fully endorses Section 100 on the term of office of the president, it is the government's considered view that Section 5 of Schedule 3 is retroactively discriminatory in its effect because it only affects and is intended to only affect the incumbent president." End quote. When I heard cabinet complaining about discrimination against Adama Barrow, I got excited. I got excited because I hate discrimination. And I want to think that most of us do too. And so I thought I should highlight other forms of discrimination in the Constitution so that no single Gambian will feel discriminated against. 1. All the thieves, including those in government, should get together and ask that laws against stealing be reversed because these laws discriminate against thieves. No law should be made that targets any individual or group. And since the laws against stealing target the thieves, I think we should do away with these laws because they are discriminatory. If anyone has a right to self-perpetuate, then people should also have a right to steal. Why must self-perpetuation be good, but stealing be bad? Number 2, all the people who cannot be president because they are not considered educated enough should get together and demand that every Gambian be given a chance to be president, regardless of education level. Saying one must complete secondary education before they can become president discriminates against those who have not completed such education. The Constitution also discriminates against those who are considered too young to run for office. There is zero scientific evidence that one has to be 35 or older in order to be a good president. So why discriminate against the fine young men and women of this country who are under 35? Okay, enough. I guess you get my drift. My point is this. We decided to have a constitution or laws in the first place to discriminate against certain acts or behaviors that are inimical to who we desire to be as a people. We desire to be a people who abhor greed. We desire to be a people who do not tolerate thieves, rapists, and murderers. We also desire to be a country that does not tolerate self-perpetuating rule or any form of dictatorship. Why should we change who we desire to be simply because it affects one individual out of almost 2 million people? This one individual works for those 2 million people. I mean, when you think about it, who insists on working for people diakuya nehnahari damala ligayal by force? Do you see why I say our idea of a government is a fraud? That Barrow cannot be in power for 20 years only discriminates against Barrow, says Barrow's cabinet. Do you know how many people the laws against stealing discriminate against? Do you know how many people in the diaspora the Constitution discriminates against? Do you know how many people the laws against corruption discriminate against? What about those who cannot be president because of education or age or because they are differently abled? The reality is this: the draft constitution is full of discrimination. It is unfortunate that the only discrimination our elegant cabinet can see is the one that stops one man and his cronies from perpetuating themselves in power. Did anyone tell cabinet that Gambians desire self-perpetuating rule? I hope the thieves object to the draft too, because they do not deserve to be discriminated against. But let me say this: if a constitution is truly for and by the people, why should one individual's interest be so critical that it supersedes the interests of the people? Here is your answer. Our idea of a government is a fraud. It is simply a place to go and eat and feed your friends. Now watch everyone eating deny this bitter truth.
That's Alaji Barrow. So now we have a full sense of the meaning of the essay.